Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the interview series. Today, I'm super excited to have my wonderful ex-colleague Daria, with whom we spent a few very happy years working together at Google. Daria brings over 14 years of experience recruiting in the Swiss market. That's why I'm so excited to have such an experienced tenured recruiter with me today. And not only that, she also recruited professionals across 5 different sectors, starting from pure tech to fintech, medtech, pharma, and energy. Daria, did I miss any industries you recruited for? Or...
No, you covered them all.
These
Yes,
are all
thank you.
five. Wow. Another reason why I'm so excited to have Daria here today, because not only she recruited for various sectors, she also recruited for different levels of seniority, from junior to mid-level to senior to C-level professionals. So she brings an amazing, diverse perspectives to us today, and I'm very excited to share her insights and perspectives with our job-seeking community. So let's get started with our first question. Since COVID times, there has been a lot of buzz about remote work. A lot of candidates out there are interested in remote work opportunities. What advice would you give to those candidates that are seeking those opportunities in Switzerland, but also outside of Switzerland?
Thank you. That is a great question. And remote work is still such a buzzword, right? And now we're seeing a potential total return to the office, and how is that going to be managed? My most important advice is to be rather conservative with your expectations and what the companies can provide you. Because they can promise you the sky, but not everything is possible yet, at least from the legislation perspective. So when you're talking about remote, be ready to be at least in the same country as the company that you're going to be working for. Like this, you'll make sure that your contract is properly taken care of, that all your social contributions that are legally binding and need to be done within the country are actually going to be taken care of, and there are going to be no unpleasant surprises. So be very diligent when a recruiter tells you that, yeah, sure, we'll do the remote work. You can be wherever you are. Ask questions. Don't just blindly trust them. All right. So here is like, yes, remote work is great, but there are many things that you need to ask to be really sure that you're getting a good deal.
Yeah.
Switzerland is great for, sorry, Switzerland is great for remote work because there are many legal structures have already been set up, because a lot of people live in Switzerland or Germany or France or Italy, considering how small Switzerland are, but still, just rather be cautious and yeah, and ask questions.
Sure. I think it's a lot of candidates actually don't think about the legal implication of the remote work. Probably they're thinking, well, what's so difficult about it? I'm working, whether it's from home or from the office, but in reality, there are a lot of compliance and legal issues that the company has to go through in order to be able to onboard those candidates remotely. So thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah. And small companies just might not have the structure or the power to do that yet. So just be very vigilant and ask as many questions as you can.
Great. And well, during these 14 years, I can only imagine how many candidates you got to meet and to speak with. I bet thousands, 10,000, 20, 50, who knows? How many thousands of candidates you spoke with. I'm sure you had a number of cases when a candidate really stood out in the process with you, went an extra mile, or really impressed you with their presentations or with how they approach the process. Maybe you can recall some cases and or share some characteristics that defines an impressive candidate.
That's an excellent question. And yes, I don't know at what point I stopped counting how many candidates I've actually talked to, but I still am in touch with many of them. The ones I wish I could have a very easy and very straightforward answer to Yana, which candidates make an excellent candidate and what makes them stand out. But life is never that black and white, so I will have
Yep.
to go through, several iterations of what I think stands out to me as a recruiter, working with a candidate, and as somebody who is hiring for a specific company. So, as a recruiter, I know that candidates sometimes are a bit cautious and are not always eager to be very open with their recruiter because they think they need to play a game to make sure that they get the best deal and to make sure they don't disclose everything because recruiter is not their friend. Well, the best candidates that I've ever worked with were the ones that actually decided to trust me and to see me as their partner and as their advocate, and to believe that it is in my interest to do the best work for them and for the company. So that's always have been the best relationship and the best outcomes that came out of it, both for the company and for the candidate. So that is my biggest advice. Selfishly, from my point of view, this is the candidates that I want to work with. When you ask, what kind of characteristics do candidates have for them to stand out in the process as well, not only to me, but like for the company. I would have to divide them a little bit into the level of seniority. So, for example, a junior one, I expect them to be curious and eager to learn and be a little bit more realistic about your expectations as well, what company is able to provide you during your first job. Maybe don't ask if the company can relocate your mother with you to another country. It's most probably is going to be impossible. But yes, bring this curiosity and a desire to learn. For the people somewhere in the middle of their career, I expect them to know where the role that we're discussing comes in their career journey. It
Okay.
shows them, it shows me that they're able to be analytical and to analyze where they've been and where they're going to be able to plan for the future and also to reflect on what their current needs are. Sometimes candidates think that they need to be super duper overexcited about every opportunity that they get and try and sell themselves that this is the best thing that has ever happened to them. If it's true, excellent. But sometimes a job is just a job and it needs to fit into your life, and that's also fine. So being able to share this with your recruiter is going to provide you with the relationship that you need to get the best results for yourself. From the senior candidates, I do expect that this is the only people that I do expect to be excited about the role and the company. Yes, because this is a senior role, the responsibility and expectations of a company are going to be high. So you need to be, as a candidate, you need to be engaged fully in this opportunity. Yes, so that's about it.
Thank you. I really loved, the new perspective. Honestly, I never thought about it this way. The first thing that you said, about creating a bonding relationship and being authentic with your recruiter. So really, thank you for sharing that. And also loved how you broke down. It really depends at which stage of your career you are, and totally makes sense if you're a junior and you're not curious and excited to learn, then maybe that's not the right approach. For mid seniority professionals, just to sum up, you would love them to see their understanding how this role fits within their current life and career situation, and senior professionals to be really excited about the opportunity because they are there to make the biggest impact out of these three categories of professionals. So definitely would love them to be excited and eager to contribute.
Yeah,
Great.
and also knowledgeable. This is the people that they need to do the research in the company that they want to join.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you so much. And last question that I have for you. Negotiation is, I think, one time favorite or not topic of most candidates there. It's always perceived as a very, uncomfortable, negative experience. So what would be your top negotiation advice to job seekers that are either going through an offer negotiation now or are about to get into it?
That is a great question. And despite the fact that I am a recruiter and negotiation is part of my job, this is probably the part of my job that I like the least.
Mhm.
I always try to provide the best offer that I can rather earlier in the process, so at least there are no unpleasant surprises for other sides. But situations could be different, right? Um, what, as you know, Jana, right? When we bring the new recruiters on board, we always teach them to pre-close candidates as soon as possible. From the first call, you as a recruiter, you need to know what if they fit within the financial ranges that your company has, if they're able to relocate, and if they've actually discussed that with their significant others, because the amount of time that it has not happened and we lost candidates because they didn't talk to their spouse is one too many. The same goes for the candidates. You need to be ready to put it out there, to ask for what you want and what is important to you. Very often, a candidate, like a recruiter, would ask, what is your current salary? By the way, this is not a compliant question in Switzerland. So if you are getting asked this question, feel empowered to kind of go, do you mean what my salary expectation is? And then start from there. I personally, in my negotiations, always give the number that is a little bit higher than the one that I would actually be happy with.
Yeah.
Has always worked for me. The first time I had to do that, I felt extremely uncomfortable, and I actually had to go and practice in front of the mirror so I don't look and feel nervous asking for this money. So maybe do that, because advocating for yourself is always difficult. So start from the beginning, kind of go like, this is what I want. I'm open to negotiations. I do not know how your salary structure looks like, right? But this is the number that I would be comfortable with. Maybe the company will come back to you and say, listen, we cannot do that, but this is the benefits that we have. Is that something that you would be ready to discuss? If you are at the very end of the negotiations and no one of the process and no one has asked you what your salary expectations are, they've told you that they would like to hire you and telling you the random number that the company is ready to give you. Say thank you and say that you need to think about it, go back, do your research, maybe see if it's appropriate for the industry, because different industries do pay in differently.
Yeah.
And then do get back to them within, say, 24 hours. And if you're not happy with the number, be honest and say, I'm very keen to join the company. It looks like a great opportunity. I know that I will learn a lot. I would be more comfortable with XYZ number to join the company. Would that be something that you'd be able to help me with? And see what they say.
Great. Thank you very much. I love the part of, especially, I love all of it, but the one I love the most, what you said, it's difficult to advocate for ourselves, which is quite ironic, right? Because if we won't advocate for ourselves, nobody will. And I
Yeah,
think it's really important to keep that in mind, and especially during the negotiation when
yeah,
uh, in a particular sensitive or uncomfortable situation.
yeah.
So thank you very much, Daria. That was really insightful and interesting, and I'm sure many job seekers out there will really, really appreciate all of your advices. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking about the job the work that we do. I hope my perspectives were useful to someone. If you have more questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them as well. And yes, thank you for having me, Jana.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.